Hey, what's up YouTube? Today is the last day of the Marvel Tokon open beta. I've been playing this game a ton off stream and I just want to give you guys my final impressions of this closed beta, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and how I'm feeling about 2 weeks before the final release of this game. And I gotta say, I am looking forward to it. The game does feel really fun. There are lots of really good things about it, but there are also some changes I want to see made and that I hope are made for the best possible experience when this game comes out. Alright, so first let's start with the things that I really like about this game. So this game looks and sounds fantastic. It really has that comic book feel and it's got that great Arc Systems work art style where it just looks really polished and really good. I don't think anybody is going to say anything negative about the visuals of this game. It's just beautiful to look at, really, really nice. Also, I think the music in this game is fantastic. There are so many bangers in this game. There are some stinkers too. Spider-Man's theme, whatever that is pretty rough. Also, the menus. I think the menus in this game are fantastic. More recent games have kind of had funky menus. Like Street Fighter 6 gives you a lot of things you can do, but the menus feel really bad overall. But this is great. You've got all your quick menu here. The quick menu is great. You can set your bookmarks so you can go right into whatever you want. So for example, let's say I wanted to go into, I don't know, story mode. I could set this here, and then anytime I want, I just push the start button, go to episode, and there you go. I'm playing story mode. Or here, quick training. This first slot is going to be set to your Y button here. So I push Y and I just go right into quick training. Takes my last settings and just gets me right into training mode or ranked if you're one of those ranked demons. So yeah, I like the menus quite a bit. Also for ranked matches, I love how this game has a wired and Wi-Fi indicator, but I do wish the game actually showed you the ping, or at least a ping preview before you could accept the match, because this whole thing with like 4 bars, 5 bars, I mean, what even is 5 bar, right? So I wish they could actually give you a ping indicator actually showing you the connection quality, but we'll talk more about connection quality later on in the negatives. All right, another thing I really like about this game is the unique command button. So every character in this game has like a unique button, kind of like BlazBlue's drive button, and it really helps each character kind of feel a little special. Like Wolverine has these slashes. Are you playing Iron Man? You've got these kind of like Vegeta multiple beams. If you mash it, you can shoot more. You can do it on the ground. You can do it in the air. It really helps the characters kind of like get a special feel to them, and each one has a unique one. So I think that's really nice, you know? So I don't know. I think it's a cool little feature, and it's good for casual players because it's really easy to understand what the unique attack is. And it's also good for advanced players because they can find out all these different things you can do with each unique button. Another thing I really like about this game is like how the match flow feels. Everything feels kind of fast. It is a 3-round game, but never really felt like each round went too long or felt drawn out or anything like that. It always felt like very movement heavy, lots of things you could do, lots of action going on. It was always really high paced, and it never really got boring when I was playing. So the game overall flow felt really good, and I didn't feel like combos were too long. It didn't feel like I was like watching a cinematic during all the supers and everything. Everything's short and snappy, other than the Tokon assemble, which can feel pretty long, and you know, but that only happens like once a match maybe. So it's not something I think we're gonna get tired of. It's not like seeing like Super Art 3 over and over again every round in Street Fighter 6. So I don't mind the length of that, and I just overall like the pacing of this game. I think they did a really good job with that, both as a competitor and also as like a viewer. I think people won't get bored watching this. Alright, so now let's talk about some things that I didn't really like. So first of all, of course, the performance of this game. There are so many performance issues, especially on PC. I hope they get that fixed after the beta is done for the full release. Who knows? We'll only even know when the game actually comes out. But one thing I think this game absolutely needs is a PC benchmark. This game requires kind of beefy PCs to play well. Even the recommended like general like low-end specs are pretty high for fighting game standards, and I think a lot of people have rigs that can't really run this game properly, and I think that's really obvious when you're playing online. I had a bunch of matches where my opponent had really low ping and they were playing on PC, like 28 ping, like below 20 ping sometimes. But the matches were fluctuating between like 6 and 8 frames of rollback, and either that's just like a network beta issue, or what I think it most likely is the opponent's PC is kind of frying as they're trying to play it, and it's messing up the online, and it's causing all this rollback frame. And I'm also pretty sure it's one-sided, because a lot of the times my opponents were hitting me with like full combos, but I couldn't even get my own stuff done. It was really bad. So this game absolutely needs a PC benchmark, and if you don't pass the benchmark, you should not be allowed to play ranked because you just make the experience worse for everybody. Sorry, I mean, it's ranked. If you want to play ranked, like the sweat mode, you have to have a rig that's able to run this game. So that's on you. All right, the next thing I didn't like about this game is that I think the tutorial and the game in general does a really poor job of explaining all of the mechanics and all of the rules of this game. And I'm going to give you one really easy example. There are a bunch of them, but here's an easy one. So this game has wall breaks. So for example, if I do a throw here, the blade throws Captain America, and you get a wall break, and that's a screen transition. And this has different implications at a high level and everything, but just know that this game does have wall breaks. Now, throws break wall breaks guaranteed all the time, but then some special moves break walls and some special moves don't break walls. So here I'm going to do Blade's quarter circle back attack. He does the slash, doesn't break the wall. Here's the medium version, doesn't break the wall. Here's the EXOD advanced version, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't break the wall. But now I'm going to do like a Shoryuken input, like a DP. That broke the wall. Now, you wouldn't know that unless you actually experimented yourself, and the game doesn't tell you which of your specials break walls and which of your specials don't break walls. And this can really affect you later on, because there are sometimes you'll be doing a combo when you don't want to break the wall, because if you do, it kind of ends your combo damage and it gives you an extra assist afterwards, which can be good. But if you don't know those rules, you won't understand that when you're playing. And again, this is something advanced players will figure out for themselves, but for beginner players or low intermediates, this is really obtuse, and it doesn't even show you in the command list, right? It doesn't say which of your moves break walls. So I think what they should do is add like a little indicator, like an icon, showing which of your moves break walls and which of your moves don't break walls. I think that would be really, really helpful for the average player, and I'm kind of surprised it's not there. Another thing I think the game doesn't explain properly are all of your attack buttons. So did you actually know that you have 3 different air heavy attacks? But in the air, if I push heavy, I get this downward slash, right? But if I push forward heavy, I get this upward slash. If I push down heavy, I get this kind of like stabbing motion. But the game doesn't really tell you that. And even if you look at your command list, it doesn't show anywhere in this command list, like even under basic controls, that you have 3 different air attacks. And the rules here are different too, because if I just do like a basic grounded combo and I do like medium to heavy and I mash it, it gives me that kind of thing. But if I push like heavy and back heavy, I can't get the other command normal. But if I push like if I do this, and I push medium and then back, or if I do this and I push medium and down heavy, then I can get that, but I can't do it if I push heavy twice. It's just really weird. It feels like the rules of comboing in this game and the rules of linking your normals is just kind of obtuse and really hard to understand. And again, like people who want to get to a high level or play in tournaments, they will figure this stuff out. But if you're not somebody who has experience from previous fighting games or even previous versus style games, it's gonna be really hard for you to figure these things out. And I don't think this game does a really good job of helping beginners figure out how to play. So I think newer players to this game, like to versus games or fighters in general who want to get better and start to play at like a more high level, are going to have a really frustrating time in the beginning because the game doesn't really give you that information that you need. And final example of the game not really explaining everything completely properly, did you know that there's actually different wake up timings? So here's a neutral wake up, right? So I'm going to do a really basic combo here. Knock down my opponent. He gets up, he flashes white, he's invulnerable for a little bit, but then he's vulnerable again when he gets up. Now I'm going to go for a front roll. He rolls, he's invulnerable there. But now I'm going to go back roll, and check this out. There, the invulnerability timing is way longer on the back roll. So you have different, like, you have variable timings on the different wake-ups. And when you can attack your opponent and all that kind of stuff, that's going to mess up your setups offensively, and defensively it changes your timing too. But the game doesn't really explain that to you, or like at least not in a way that's easy to understand for everybody. So I think the game just really needs to have a more clear tutorial and a better way of letting you understand everything. Because maybe I'm wrong, but when I did the tutorial, I don't think it ever explained different wake-up invulnerability timings between all the different options. That's really important in a game like this. Okay, next thing I think this game needs to kind of improve on, and I don't know how they can or whatever, but this game requires way too many buttons to play. If you are not using several macros, you are handicapping yourself, in my opinion, and this is going to be really hard to play on a standard 8-button arcade controller. If you're on a PlayStation pad or a leverless controller with extra buttons, I don't think you're going to have a hard time, but if you're on like a leverless with 8 buttons only, or a arcade controller with 8 buttons, I think you're kind of cooked because you need way too many macros. You can do light plus medium for a dash, but having a dash macro is already better. And as soon as you add a dash macro, boom, you're already above 8 buttons. So I'm not going to get too into all the different macros this game has, but yeah, you need to have a lot of buttons here and it can get pretty confusing. And because of all the different button combinations of things that happen, like a lot of things in this game are 2 buttons pushed together. Like light plus medium gives you this dash, but then medium plus heavy gives you a throw, which kind of looks like a dash, but it's not a dash. You're pushing like assist plus your quick skill kind of thing gives you the Tokon assemble, and then you have like your skill button, and then your assist, and then you have your unique, and then you have your actual assist call, then you have your change character call, and there's like so many buttons for everything, and I feel like it just gets super confusing. And maybe they could have made this easier or whatever, but I don't know. I just feel like button layouts in this game are really hard because so many things are assigned to like 2 button combinations. It just feels kind of, it always feels like you're fighting with the control system. It doesn't feel like the control system is really like organic. It doesn't feel like it feels good right in the beginning. You know, some games you play and everything kind of just meshes together really well. This does not feel this way. This thing feels like you need to spend like 30 minutes or 1 hour finding out like what is the absolute best controller layout for you and the kind of person you are before you'll even kind of feel comfortable in this game. It just feels really tricky in that way. So again, for more advanced players, I think they'll figure it out, but this game is, I think this game is going to be kind of hell for like the beginner intermediate player. It just feels really kind of obtuse. I keep on using that word obtuse, but this game just feels really obtuse, even in the control scheme for me. Mentioning controls, this game feels really weird to play. It's like oddly fast, but then like also oddly cumbersome and like really restrictive. I know some people are really complaining about the 4 chain, like the 4 Gatling kind of thing, how you can only do 4 buttons before it stops. I don't think that's a huge issue, but I do think it would have been nice if they could have given you like proximity normals, because like every single normal is always the same. Like you'll always get this far slash no matter where you are. And I think that would have made the 4 Gatling kind of thing. If you don't know what that is, by the way, the 4 Gatling, let me just show you. You can only push 4 attack buttons in a row. So let's say I go like light, light, light. Like let's say I go like light, light, medium, medium, right? So that's crouching light twice, standing medium, crouching medium. I can't do a heavy after that because that would be a 5th attack. So I'm going to go light, light, standing medium, and then I'm mashing heavy, nothing comes out. But if I just did 1 light, standing medium, crouching medium, heavy, it'll come out. See? And then you can jump cancel normals on hit, like heavies on hit, something like this, or even mediums. You can jump cancel them on hit, but then on block, you can't. So I'm trying to do standing medium into a jump, I can't. Standing heavy into a jump, I can't. Crouching heavy into a jump, I can't. So you can only jump cancel things on hit, but not on block. And again, I don't think the game explains that to you in the tutorial. So again, another case of it being kind of obtuse and hard to understand unless you're already somebody with fighting game experience. But I think adding like jump cancelable on block normals would have helped this game feel a little bit more fluid. I don't know, it just feels kind of restrictive in a weird way to me. It's kind of like a Marvel tag fighter, but it's also kind of not. And that kind of leads me to this next point here. If you're expecting this game to be like Marvel 3 or like Marvel 4 kind of thing, it's not. That's not what this is. This is closer to BlazBlue cross tag battle than anything else, but that'll be a topic for another video. So in terms of like restrictiveness, yeah, that feels really weird. Then the inputs are weird too. This game has some of the strictest input like timings you need, especially DP motion, Shoryuken motions. So it's pretty common for most modern fighting games to give you like lots of leeway in how you do Shoryuken motions. I'm not going to get too into it, but just know that in this game, the only way to get a standard command Shoryuken is to do forward, neutral, down, down, forward. And it has to be forward, neutral, down, down, forward. So this is a Shoryuken motion from Blade. And I'm going to switch characters here. I'm going to switch to Dr. Doom because I want to show you an example of how restrictive the inputs of this game are. All right, so let's take a look at this. So here I'm going to do a standard Shoryuken input. Forward, neutral, down, down, forward. That's Dr. Doom's Shoryuken motion. But now if I hit a single down back, I get hit or a back after forward, which is really common on either pads or arcade sticks, less common on hitbox. You'll get his fireball motion. And this can be really, really hard in combos because sometimes, you know, you're playing a match, heat of the moment, you might hit a down back by accident. You might not get a perfect Shoryuken input every single time. And it just feels really awkward to do. Even worse in combos. Check this out. So here's a really basic Dr. Doom combo. This is like incredibly difficult to link. There are some times when this will just drop for like whatever reason. Like this standing heavy punch to DP, there we go. See, if you look at my inputs, I got a correct DP input here on the left, but either the timing was off by just a little bit. I don't know, everything feels like so unnecessarily tight in this game, and that goes all the way down to your assist timings too. Calling an assist in this game is like, it has like the most awkward timing ever during like combos and stuff. There are times when you'll call an assist and it just randomly won't come out. Like here it's coming out, I'm getting kind of lucky with the timing. But there are some combos I was doing, like, I mean, I was maining Wolverine. I'll show you real quick. So I'm going to do this really basic combo with Wolverine. He does, like, medium, heavy into his unique, into the unique ender. If you want to extend this, you have to call an assist right after this unique ender here, after this slash. There. You can see I pushed the assist button, but the assist didn't come out. There. I delayed it by quite a bit, and then the assist came out. So it's like, it feels really bad because you can't push assist like when the move hits. It has to be like right before or right after the move hits, and I don't know, it just feels like you kind of want to mash on it, but then you can't mash because if you mash and you have a second assist available, you'll get your second or third assist to come out too. So the game just feels really, really bad in this sense. It just doesn't feel nice when you're calling assists, and that goes for grounded assists, air assists. There are a ton of different examples I can give you, but I'm just trying to keep it real simple here. It just feels too restrictive, so I think this game needs to do something with the input buffer because it just feels hard to play. It feels like you're fighting with the game, both from like a button layout perspective, a macro perspective, and then also like the overall feel of the game. It just feels kind of So I really hope they improve the feel of it that way. Okay, the next thing I didn't really like up too much about this game are the defensive mechanics. The defensive mechanics are both like too weak until they're too strong. So during block stun, this game doesn't have push block like your traditional like 2D Marvel style tag fighter game. It does have this thing called crossover assault, and this is kind of like a blowback get off me kind of thing, and this costs 1 bar of your assist gauge. And the only thing you can do to beat this, like I can't do a super after, it's just like a pure, this is like this game's version of drive impact, but also drive reversal kind of put into one button from Street Fighter 6. So the only way you actually counter this defensive mechanic as the offensive player is by pushing light plus your tag button. And if you time it just right, like just before it connects with you, you'll get this perfect and you actually attack them. And then if you look at the top here, it says disassembled, which is kind of like the burnout or overheat, whatever, of this game, where your opponent can't call any assists anymore for that whole time. So if you have good reactions and you can reaction check this, you can basically lock out your opponent of doing any assists or tagging in any other characters, and basically makes them play like a really, really handicapped version of this character. And it's weak because really, as long as you're able to reaction check this, it completely locks out the opponent. There's nothing else they can do defensively to kind of protect themselves. There's no other push block, there's no like, other than like mashing super in between strings, but during block strings, there's nothing else they can do. There's no instant block, there's no parry. There is an instant block, but it doesn't change the frame data or nothing. But there's no parry, there's nothing else they can do. It's that only one mechanic, and it's just a pure reaction check. So as long as your opponent is kind of having good reactions and looking for it, they can counter it. But you cannot counter this if you don't have any assist meter, and this is really common in round 1. All right, so I've got 1 bar of assist, right? So I'm gonna do a block string into an assist call, which is like the most basic form of block string pressure you're gonna be doing in this game. There, something like this. Then I come back in to start, and now because I spent my assist meter, there's nothing I can do defensively as the person kind of creating a block string to counter that defensive option from my opponent, because I already spent my meter. See, I'm trying to do the counter to it, but I can't. When you have no assist meter and your opponent does have assist meter, that defensive option becomes really strong and there's no answer to it. So I don't know, I don't like that system defensively. Maybe this is getting my own personal opinion into it too much, but I don't like things where you're guaranteed an option just because of the way things are, and the only way to counter that option is like a pure reaction check. I don't know. I just feel like that could be they could make it more interesting somehow, but that's the way it is, and I don't really like that too much, to be honest. So yeah, guys, I don't want to keep this video too long. Those are my overall thoughts. I think this game is going to be a ton of fun. I can see it being really, really good if they can just polish it up a little bit, change some mechanics, and especially explain the game better for newer players. But fixing performance issues, making the game feel a little bit better to play, a little bit less restrictive and a little bit less severe in terms of like your input timings and your leniency. If they fix that, honestly, I can see this game being great. and I don't think we've even like seen like the tip of the iceberg of this game so far. I think this game is going to be really powerful, especially with switching in and like, you know, calling your assists and stuff. It's not, I don't think this game, as a quick preview, I don't think this game is going to be like a block string assist game so much. I think this game is going to be an active tag game. Little preview for you there. I just think this game has a lot of potential, and I want to see it, how it kind of develops in the next little bit, and I'm excited to play this game when it comes out. I just really hope they fix the PC performance options. I don't have a PS5. If this game is bad on release and I can't stream it and I can't play it at the same time because of performance issues, I'm going to be really disappointed. So I hope they fix that more than anything else, because if the game is unplayable, the mechanics don't matter. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, after playing the beta or watching this game, what do you think? What are your impressions? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because it helps support me so very much. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.